Hey folks, welcome to Pre-Patch. Today we're going to do a quick overview of the Unholy Death Knight. Tons of fun. This is a really strong spec going into Shadowlands. I like what we've done with the entire class as far as what we're seeing right now in Shadowlands, and I think ultimately, regardless if you want to go with Unholy, which continues to be the king of AoE damage, you want to go with Frost, which is actually looking really good for single target, and if you're looking for a melee for raiding, or Blood, Blizzard has done a great job in terms of building this class up. Like, I think we could all use an additional offensive cooldown or two, but if that's the worst of it, it's looking really good. All right, we're going to jump into a couple builds really quick. The first one we're going to touch on is actually tied to raiding, and it's associated with our Army of the Damned. So let's just name drop it. Here we go. There's our army. Awesome. So what you want to go with this Army of the Damned build, you actually want to go with All Will Serve in Tier 1. Go with Tier 2 to Unholy Blight. Tier 3, it comes down to what your preference is. I like Affixate just because I like having a stun available at all times. Tier 4, really fun. Blizzard has brought back Soul Reaper. This is the execute that we haven't had for a very long time. So wicked to see that coming back and be able to knock down some enemies really quick. Honestly, Tier 5, it's a utility line. If you want to go with Anti-Magic Shell, which is a fantastic utility that all Death Knights have access to, we've kind of incorporated that PvP talent to baseline. We'll show that off right here. That's great. That's actually going to provide, just as it is, a 20% reduction to magic damage. But if you go with Spell Eater, that'll go 30% higher and last 5 seconds longer. So, yep, congratulations, Death Knight. You are just OP when it comes to group utility. Like, we are going to see a lot of Death Knights in raids here in the beginning, which is good. Hopefully we see a little more parity around melee versus ranged in cutting edge guilds. For Tier 6, Unholy Pact is the way to go. Just allows Dark Transformation to work quite well between you and your pet. Speaking of which, finally, you just seen it. Tier 7, Army of the Damned. Great ability, actually able to play with the cooldown of Apocalypse. There's all kinds of fun things that are going on there. The other build that you have for raiding, if you want to play with Unholy, is actually just a slightly different build. It scales really well, even still with the AoE target caps, and it's going to look kind of similar, but let's touch on it really quick. Tier 1, still the same. All Will Serve. Tier 2, Unholy Blight. No change there. Tier 3, again, it just comes down to what your appetite necessarily is. Tier 4, you want to keep your Soul Reaper execute that's there. That's going to be baseline for us. Tier 5, this is, again, back to your utility line. Do you want to go with Spell Eater to increase your magic shield? Do you want to go with Wraith Walk to increase your mobility, or Death Pact to help your overall survivability? To me, Spell Eater is the go-to. That magic shell is hard to beat on a really quick cooldown. Tier 6, you're looking at Unholy Pact again as the build you want to go with. So finally, the only real difference between these two different raid builds is if you want to go with Unholy Assault. And that's where you just strike your target with shadow damage, inflicting 4 festering wounds. And we can have a lot of fun as you start stacking up wounds, as hopefully you're well aware. So that's fun. Like, I actually think you will be able to have a fair bit of fun with Unholy in raids. I'll probably prefer to lean towards Frost based on how they're looking right now, but both are looking really strong. So it's really just going to come down to what your flavor is, unless you're trying to min-max. Looking a little differently at the Mythic Plus world, you know what? We've seen a bit of a nerf to Infected Claws and Bursting Sores, and still, Unholy Death Knight is the go-to when it comes to AoE damage. Like, no other melee can compete. It's not even close. So let's touch on two different builds. We're going to first start off with the wound build. So tier 1, you're going with Infected Claws. Tier 2, Bursting Sores. And this actually becomes a lot of fun. I really like the Bursting build. Tier 3, honestly, again, it comes down to whatever you want, just a utility line. Tier 4, you're going with Pustules. Bursting a Festering Wound has a 10% chance to grant you Runic Corruption. That's absolutely a ton of fun. Tier 5, again, utility, wherever you want to go. I'm going to stick with Spell Eater. Tier 6, Unholy Pact. So no real change. Unholy Pact owns in almost all situations here. And then finally, you're just sticking with Unholy Assault. So that's the wound build. That's a lot of fun. Not super complicated. Alternatively, you can go with the Blight build, and there's not a lot of change there. Tier 1, you go back to All Will Serve as baseline. Tier 2, you're jumping over to Unholy Blight, and that kind of gets a few more insects surrounding you, you big gross undead monster. Tier 3, again, utility wherever. Tier 4, stick with your Pestilent. Tier 5, I'm sticking with Spell Eater. You can make your own life choices, maybe Death Pact or Wraithwalk if you so desire. Tier 6, again, no change to Unholy Pact. And Tier 7, you're just sticking with Unholy Assault. So it's really just kind of playing with our top two lines there for the variety. So ultimately play with that, see what you like, see what you maybe don't. Ultimately, I'm really excited. Unholy's going to have a great build around Mastery and Crit going into the new patch, and it's going to be a lot of fun to take advantage of. So take some time, check it out, drop it down in the comments. Let me know, are you playing Unholy? Are you playing Frost? Are you playing Blood? Are you playing anything else but Death Knight? And why the heck are you doing that? If you've got any questions around the viability of any of the specs, the target caps, where we're going in terms of conduits or legendaries, drop it down in the comments, and I will try to get back to you soon. Thanks for watching. See ya.